No one expected the dog to move, until the woman everyone had written off spoke one quiet word. The leash went slack. The crowd held its breath, and a decade of failure cracked in a single heartbeat. The German Shepherd had already lunged twice, teeth flashing in the bright noon sun, handlers scrambling backward as dust puffed under their boots. Commands ricocheted across the training yard, sharp, practiced, loud, and every one of them slid off the dog like rain on steel. Officers tightened their grips. A colonel's jaw hardened. This was supposed to be a public demonstration, and it was unraveling fast. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The woman stood a few steps away, not in the spotlight, not even invited to the center. Sergeant Lena Morales kept her hands open at her sides, feeling the heat of the concrete through her soles and the thrum of anxiety in her chest. She had been reassigned after an injury, desk work, evaluations, nothing with teeth. She told herself she was only there to observe. Still, the dog's eyes found her, locked, waiting. That was the first crack. Whispers spread through the onlookers. Recruits on the fence line, instructors pretending not to stare. The dog, Atlas, had a reputation. Brilliant nose, unpredictable temper. He'd washed out 3 handlers. One had quit. Another had been bitten. Lena felt the old doubt rise. Don't step forward. Don't make this about you. The wind lifted grit against her calves. A metal bowl rattled somewhere. Atlas growled low and tired, like a warning he was bored of giving. The colonel raised a hand to end the exercise. The moment hung. Lena took one step without permission. The crowd stiffened. She remembered the hospital ceiling. The smell of antiseptic. The word unfit whispered like a verdict. She remembered training dogs back when her laugh still came easily. She swallowed. She didn't shout. She didn't posture. She crouched just enough to be smaller, eyes level with Atlas, and spoke a single word he had not heard in months. Free. For a breathless second, nothing happened. Then the growl faded. Atlas's ears tilted. The leash slackened completely as his weight shifted, not forward, not back, but toward her. Dust settled. Someone dropped a clipboard. Lena felt her pulse slow as Atlas stepped closer, nose tasting the air around her knuckles. She didn't reach for him. She waited, let him choose. The murmurs grew. Phones rose. The colonel's eyes narrowed, not with anger now, but calculation. Atlas sat, clean, perfect. As if the chaos before had never existed. She thought that would be the end. She was wrong. A whistle cut the air. A simulated breach alarm blared from the far gate, and trainers rushed in with padded suits, turning the yard into controlled chaos. Atlas startled, muscles coiling. Lena felt the old fear. This is where it breaks. She stood, steady as a post, and spoke again, softer this time, threading calm through the noise. Free to work. Atlas surged, not at her, not at the crowd, but toward the task, precise and eager, a blur of purpose. He tracked, cornered, disengaged on cue. The yard filled with movement, coordinated like a wave. When it ended, Atlas returned to Lena and pressed his head into her thigh, a heavy, trusting weight. Silence followed, thick and stunned. Neighbors had drifted to the fence. Recruits stared openly now. The colonel cleared his throat and did something unexpected. He nodded. "Sergeant," he said, voice carrying. "You just rewrote our playbook." Later in the bright afternoon, Lena sat on the curb with Atlas panting beside her, both of them dusty and whole. She realized the command wasn't about obedience at all. It was permission to choose, to trust, to be seen beyond the label of problem. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And sometimes it answers the quietest word spoken in the harshest place. If this story moved you, share where you're watching from and what moment stayed with you. Subscribe for more true-hearted stories that remind us what courage really sounds like.